Welcome everyone, good morning, and welcome to the graduation ceremony of the Clinton High School class of 2016. I'd like to invite up my fellow class officers as we lead you in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. I'd now like to welcome up the junior class vice president, Daniel Thompson, who will receive the class gift.
Thank you, Frankie. On behalf of the class of 2017, I accept this gift. Thank you, class 2017. You're a tough act to follow.
Put it under, yeah.
Right here?
Yep. The class gift annually is the tinfoil ball that we continue to move on. And Mrs. Swetland explained to me that the tinfoil ball actually meant that back in the day, everything used to be wrapped in tinfoil. So this year we decided to actually wrap something that we wrap in tinfoil, a cheeseburger wrapper. What a beautiful day to be a Gale. First, I'd like to thank God for allowing me to be on the stage. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here. And I'd like to thank my family. Thank you very much for all your help and support. And I wouldn't be here without you guys. So on to my speech. 77 years ago. Wait, oops, wrong speech. I was supposed to give that at Memorial Day, but it was a bit under the weather. Memorial Day, not me. I was okay. Hello, friends, classmates, parents, teachers, brothers, sisters, mothers, misters, grandparents, aunts, uncles, grandparents, grandmothers, Romans, and countrymen. I thank everyone for coming out here today and supporting these graduates, this fine group of young people, and their families. My experience here at Clinton High was truly one to remember. I met some friends I'll have for the rest of my life. I met some nice, cool friends, some at lunch, my lunch table, my lunch crew. I sat alone for 3 weeks, and they actually decided to offer for me to sit with them. And I took the kind gesture, and I sat with them and made some lifelong friends I'll have for the rest of my life. So shout out to you guys. You made lunch good, even though sometimes the food crawled across the table. But I also met some mean friends. We called them teachers. Actually, I'll admit, one of those is a lie. Mozzie Stick Day was pretty good at lunch. It was the best thing to happen since sliced bread. But in reality, if it wasn't for the teachers at the high school, I wouldn't be here today. I met so many teachers at the high school that I bonded with my entire career. Throughout all 4 years, I met teachers that I will honestly keep in touch with for the rest of my life. And I love them. I'll love them till the day I die. And one of the teachers in particular, Mrs. Irvine, actually we bonded with so much in our biology class that she showed us pictures of when she went to Rome, and she took pictures at the Colosseum, acting as if she was cheering on Roman gladiators. So on the Europe trip, those in the bio class, we reenacted those same pictures. And we took those cheering on the Roman gladiators. And so I sent them to Miss Irvine, and she was so touched that we would do something like that she actually cried during her brunch with her friends. That's the relationship we have with these teachers. These teachers are so kind to us, and we get to know them very well. I also met Mr. Della Valle. Mr. Della Valle was so excited when I was accepted to Harvard that he bought me a Harvard t-shirt. And so, in return, I bought him a Harvard t-shirt as well that said "Wicked Smart." Man, I already missed the high school. It seems like just yesterday I was walking through the halls, small geeky freshman walking in through the front door, 5'7", bit of a limp with my torn ACL. Probably smelled like all freshmen do. But as the years went on, and boy did they fly by, I always remembered one thing: make every moment count and take nothing for granted. Because eventually I knew that one day I would be this intelligent hunk of a human being that smells mighty fine on this stage. But if there's one thing you teenagers in the crowd remember, I hope it's that you cherish every moment that you have in your high school years. In the words of the late Muhammad Ali, don't count every day, make every day count. Please enjoy everything you do, because you'll only be a high schooler once. So it's up to you to make it a great 4 years or not. The choice is yours. Thank you, and I'd like to introduce Mr. Superintendent, Mr. Ngano.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Renata Nunes, class of 2016. Believe it or not, we did it. Now, our story begins in the fall of 2003, when our mamas and papas placed us in between their arms and said, now you're gonna go to school with the big kids. And so you entered in through the doors of your kindergarten. A teacher probably held your hand and a circle of students encircled you. Unknowingly, you accepted the terms. You signed away your name. And as we came to find out, the heaven-like atmosphere quickly morphed into a dungeon, a legal prison. When you pleaded your innocence, when you went home and said, I don't want to do it anymore, well, too bad. It's too late to forfeit. And thus education became your destiny. Days became years, every month another inch. Your eyes, they witnessed the changing of society, the changing of humanity. For example, Facebook was launched, YouTube was launched, Twitter was launched, and Fetty Wap's Trap Queen went platinum 4 times, believe it or not. Somehow the 5-year-old version of ourselves became young adults, and here we are today staring into the abyss of an unknown future. It would be really cool if I could see into all of your futures, but I can't. We all have to walk down the path of destiny. And yes, we're going to endure difficulties, trials, tribulations, but there is always happiness. Bliss and peace overcomes any bleak prospect. As King Solomon once wrote in his book, Ecclesiastes in chapter 3, there is a time for everything. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to weep and a time to laugh. A time for war and a time for peace. Humanity is built upon that concept. The roller coaster of good and bad, and we're just on that ride. But hey, kids, when you fail on that test, don't blame it on destiny. You know why? Because there's also a time for studying. And if any of you want to excel in life, any of you in the crowd as well, you have to climb that painful precipice. I'm sorry, but that's the truth. Although you walk blindly down the path of life, you're still walking. Every day you're working, achieving, succeeding. Write down your plans. Tell your family. And yes, you're gonna have to overcome obstacles, conquer your fears, make it across the sea. But never fear, because Justin Bieber once said, I will never say never. My friends, I'm not saying that you won't endure failures. Everyone fails at least one point in their lives. But as the ancient proverb goes, smooth seas do not make skillful sailors. Seniors, we know what failure is firsthand. As we tried parking our cars on that fateful Wednesday morning, Ms. Cash comes rolling in. By the grace of God, she decides to just stare at us and proceed into the building. A minute elapses and we think we've won the battle. We did it. But no, Mr. Hastings comes out and he says, time to move the cars. And so we did. Our parents, our teachers, our fellow underclassmen never got to see the prank. It's a sad but very true story. We're all here today, wearing our gowns, our caps, our tassels, and ropes. But behind every single student, every single victory, is a village of people. Please, thank them. As for me, I wouldn't be here today without the help of God, my mother, my grandmother, my uncle, and my two cousins, Bianca and Amanda. Obrigado por tudo. Obrigado. 95 souls, 95 stories, 95 futures. And as Mitch Albom, my favorite author, once wrote, each affects the other, and the other affects the next. This world, it's full of stories, but the stories are all one. Thank you, and God bless. Miriam Mendez, your time to shine. Renata out.
Congratulations, my fellow graduates. We made it, even when we thought we weren't going to sometimes. So I'd like to start out with a quote by Ellen DeGeneres that's always been my favorite, and it goes like this. Follow your passion, stay true to yourself, and never follow someone else's path. Unless you're in the woods and you're lost, then by all means, follow that. This quote has just so much truth in just one sentence. We were all made to make our own paths in life, and none of this is meant to sound cliche, but like, we're moving on. We're going into a new part of our lives now. And Clinton is all most of us have known for so long, and it can be pretty scary, but I promise you, you'll make it. Because Clinton, school, staff, and administration prepared us for this big change. So we entered the high school as little freshmen, or dirt, as we were also known as by the upperclassmen. Most of us were nervous coming into that new environment. We made our way through the halls, made sure we made it on time to each class, and did our homework. And as the years went by, we gained a new confidence. Then we became seniors. We felt we could do anything. We felt we were the kings and queens in the school. And we felt we didn't have to follow all the rules. But we also knew our limits. Sometimes we just didn't feel like doing that homework because senioritis had just set in. But when we heard those clicking of the heels down the hall, we made sure to run to where we had to be. Then there were times we just didn't feel like writing that research paper till the night before. But what counts though is that we got it done, even though we got no sleep. But despite all the homework and the tests that stressed me out, I've made some great bonds with some teachers that I'll never forget. Just to name a few, from Mr. Del Valier, MPDV as we know him, teaching us about seeable detail, and to Miss Irvin telling us all about the human body and helping me see that I want to do something in the medical field. Thank you to all my teachers. So most of us can't deny that we all have that little dreamer inside of us. What we have to remember though is that those dreams will only remain a dream until we act upon them. Then someday those dreams will become a reality. There are some who know what they want in life and others that don't, and that's okay. One thing I've learned in my 4 years of high school is don't rush things. Things take time. But don't let that little dreamer consume you either. And always, always remember to act on those dreams and be that doer, no matter what it takes, because those dreams help make who you are and help you keep going in life. So, going back to my quote, don't follow someone else's path, but make your own. Follow your dreams. Be proud of what you do and where you came from, even if no one knows where Clinton is in the world. And make sure you're able to look back on your life when you're old and say, wow, I've lived a happy life. You're all capable of doing great things if you set your mind to it, because we came from a great school and we have great people behind us, even if we don't realize it. We were told from a young age that we'd do great things and we'd go far in life, and now is our chance to prove that. So before I end my speech, I'd like to give a big thank you to the staff and administration. If it weren't for you guys, I wouldn't be here right now. And most importantly, I would love to thank God, my family, and friends. You've all helped me so much, and I will be grateful for each one of you forever. Y para mi familia, te amo mucho y gracias por todo. Thank you again, and congratulations, class of 2016.
First off, I would like to say good morning to those who are here, and congratulations to my fellow classmates. I would like to thank my mother for teaching me to understand my limits and when to push past them. my father for fostering my relationship with God, and my family and friends who are here today for encouraging me and giving me advice when I really needed it. Because of them, I'm here today giving this generic speech. In the past 4 years, perhaps more so for some of us, I don't really judge, it's been fun in Clinton High. This small school has so much personality that I think it will take a couple of hours to talk about it. Thankfully, I've only got 3 minutes. The teachers here really care about our grades, some more so than others, but the end result is the same. We've made it, and we're here. I can't recall a time where I needed someone to help boost my grades. My anxiety did that for me. But I do remember times where I needed someone just to make my day, because I'd either wake up on the wrong side of the bed, or I'd watched Game of Thrones the night beforehand and found out my favorite character died. Again. As most of you who use Snapchat know, singing with Mr. Dow Valley is a really fun experience. It was one of the things that made me smile. So thank you for that, Della. Yesterday, as I was scrolling through Facebook like any other senior who has literally no idea what to do next, I found a post about a graduating class by Mr. Dow Valley. This is what he said. The common thread for teachers is the love of kids. I have taught at Clinton High School for 6 years, after a year in Southbridge and a year at Ashburnham. And I can say this absolutely. Every single teacher, administrator, and guidance counselor I work with is there for the kids. Every single one. I believe that we, the class of 2016, should recognize our teachers' efforts and take a photo or two with them after the ceremony to memorize our final days and new beginnings. If you're still with me and not dozing in the luxurious lawn chairs scattered around, I would also like to state that Mr. Dow Valley is not alone in the pool of teachers that have touched our lives. Honestly, I think I would have to read off the entire staff list, and I only have a minute left, so better not. Most of us will enter the next step of our education, college, and some of us will enter the next step of our life, the workforce. Either way, you'll be confronted with obstacles that will make you want to cry a lot. Whether it be the fact that you have a research paper due in 2 hours because you lost your syllabus, or you didn't see Bambi's mom on the road as you tried to move away and you crashed your car, problems of all kinds will find us. I'm pretty sure in my freshman year running for student council, I had the anagram soap and rap, which had something to do with addressing this issue. But however, I completely forgot what it meant, so instead I will give you this small piece of advice. Talk about it. Some of us talk more than others, while some of us don't talk at all. Trust me, I understand, as I've been told to shut up or speak up during class. But talking about your problems is something that Clinton High has actually taught us, through small town rumors or oral reports that will help us later in life. Unlike knowing the quadratic formula, negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. By telling all your thoughts to others, you will either find out the solution yourself and literally shove your friend out of the way to go solve it, or you will cry and probably score free food from them. Either way, it's a win-win situation. So go get 'em, Gales. Without further ado, I now present Mr. Hastings.